This is the next part in the series, Wealth and Abundance. Today we're talking about taking calculated risk. The truth of the matter is nobody who's successful or wealthy just avoided risk at all costs. But there's another side to that. You don't want to take excessive amounts of risk like gambling or doing other dumb stuff, right? You really want to take an appropriate amount of risk. And what do we mean? You want to do research, you want to also put in a lot of effort, and you want to mitigate a lot of the risk factors that can happen. So for example, what do you mean? Like, okay, starting a business. If you're going to start business and let's say you have some savings and you're like, okay, I want to do this. Well, I'm going to ask you a question. Have you studied all the different kinds of, business mindset, business models, what other people did that failed? Have you studied exactly your industry, what you're doing? Have you studied the problems with it? Have you studied some of the great people in your industry? Have you done all those things? If you haven't, you have no business, you have no ability to actually start a business. You shouldn't be starting one at all because you're probably just going to fail. So technically, yeah, making a business, it's a risk, but you can decrease that risk by making yourself more knowledgeable. There's an aspect of the risk that will stay around and even 5% chance of failure maybe, but it's like most people are like, oh yeah, there's a risk. And they don't do anything to reduce it. And they just sit there and they're like, yeah, I'm hoping this works out. It's like, hello? Okay, why don't you just read and inform yourself and try to learn from other people? Try to there's so much information out there, right? There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to just figure out the failures of other people's and avoid their mistakes. And that will drastically increase your chance of having this thing be successful, right? So this is what I mean by taking calculated risk, because if you take calculated risk, you now have protected your downside in the sense that it's more unlikely that you fail and it's more likely that you actually succeed. And as a result of that, that means that the, benefits of, let's say, opening a business or doing something that's kind of perceived as risky, right? The benefits are more likely. You're more likely to actually become an owner and create value like we talked about in the previous video. And that's a guaranteed, almost guaranteed path to eventual wealth over long periods of time, right? So we shouldn't run away from risk. I think a lot of times we think of risk as bad, which it's very a deceiving situation because some risk is bad, but it's you can't group all risks together. Because some risk is terrible risk. If you go gambling and you're I'm going to try to win $1 million, that's terrible risk because there's no way for you to reduce that risk. It's uncontrollable. Also, the gambling place is trying to make money off you, so it's just bad, right? But if you have calculated risk, it's I'm going to try to do this new thing I haven't done before, but I'm going to reduce the risk by learning as much as I can about it and trying to figure out as much as I can about it and also putting a lot of effort into it. Then you can actually reduce the risk to a lot lower. And as a result, your chance of success actually increases a lot. This is what I don't think people understand. There's a lot of risk out there that isn't set. It's not oh, everybody who starts a business has a 50% failure rate. That's not really true. No, not everybody does that, right? It's some people have 100% chance failure rate. They don't go in, they don't prepare anything, they don't know what they're doing, and so of course it's gonna fail. But other people have a 2%. Why? Because they studied, they learned, they've had experiences, they've tried other things out before, they know what they're doing, they team up with the right people, they learn from the right people, they spend a lot of effort on it. All those things come together to reduce risk. And if you can reduce risk in industries and situations where the payoff is higher, the benefit is high, that can lead you towards wealth creation, right? So I think you can't view risk as all bad. There's some that's bad, but you can also view it as a sliding scale that you can adjust. You can reduce a lot of the risk that you see in different situations and different opportunities, and you have to really try to evaluate it as logically as possible. But there's an aspect of it that you can reduce, and I don't want you to overlook that because there's a lot of benefits that come with taking calculated risk. If you have any questions, put in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe for more, and I'll see you